Maybe he got a little too cozy with some of these birds.
Only explanation I have in where a Fiat Uno could keep up with a Mercedes S280, okay?
It's not that I wouldn't fight Mothman. I would beat the shit out of him.
We're seasoned.
So wait, you mean to tell me they have a festival commemorating the day a man got his shit rocked by an extraterrestrial carrot?
My neighbors across the street, they are not real.
But a pyramid is the most boring shape.
Part Sasquatch, part trickster midget.
Welcome to the Conspiracy Kitchen.
What's going on, guys? Thank you for joining us in the Conspiracy Kitchen, where we uncover the secret ingredients behind life's daily mysteries. I'm your head chef, Joe, and as always, I'm accompanied by my sous chef, Josh.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, and today we got a special dinner guest with us, Dave Weiss, a.k.a. Flat Earth Dave, will be joining us today. And before I get into that, though, I just wanted to mention why we haven't been on for like a month. I posted on X. If you haven't seen it on X or don't follow us on X, it's because we found out in September my wife had cancer, and we've been kind of going through that, and she had a surgery the other day, and, we've been kind of taking care of that and not focusing on the podcast, but she wants us to get back into the podcast, and I wanted to, get this episode out with Flat Earth Dave because I like what he does, so we kind of jump right back in.
What type of cancer does she have?
Uterine cancer.
Okay.
Yeah, we had the radical hysterectomy done on the 17th. They took all that stuff out: fallopian tubes, cervix, uterus. We left the hospital after 5 days, and then a couple days after, we found out it's in one of her lymph nodes, cancer. So we got to go back on Thursday to figure out what the next steps are to kind of try to get rid of this. So,
all right.
Hopefully we'll keep moving forward on that. But
sure, lots of people are giving you lots of advice on what you should do. Probably overwhelming.
Yeah, everyone from every different direction.
Yep.
So we've been, we'll get through that, and she's strong. I have faith. We'll take care of that. But moving on to the, Flat Earth Dave. I think even if I am a Globie, I'm considering myself a Globie right now. I know you're going to try to convince us. And
I'm not going to try to convince you. I'm just going to ask you some questions. Because one says I'm a Globie, there has to be a reason, and I'd love to hear that reason. It's crazy.
I know. But I think it's important what you do because, to begin with, like, you make people think critically, and I really do appreciate it because I don't think there's enough critical thinking in the world anymore. I think people just sit there. None. Maybe there's none.
There's absolutely none.
They sit there, they hear what they, whatever on CNN, and they just regurgitate, and it's just the same stuff. I hear it everywhere.
Let's look at critical thinking. So what's the latest war that happened? We invaded Venezuela, right? We captured the president. Is that what happened? I don't watch it.
Yep. We went in there. We took him pretty quickly.
Let me ask a question. If it was you that got captured, and throughout the next 24 hours, there's people taking pictures of you here and there, would you have time for 4 outfit changes?
You got to look your best.
He got 4 outfit changes. He's giving thumbs up signals. Like, is there any critical thinking left? So here's the other. Do you trust the mainstream media?
No.
Okay, where did you hear the information about that we invaded Venezuela? Did you see it?
Yeah.
Were you there?
No, I wasn't there though.
So what happens is the mainstream media, put it out there, and then all of the alternative media rebroadcast it. Is there any evidence that anything has happened at all? I'm not saying anything did or didn't happen. I'm just saying the people that we don't distrust, we're taking their word for everything. Yeah. And then the president has 4 outfit changes. 4 outfit changes. All right? And he's smiling and thumbs up. Like, what is this? Just like an amateur actor just playing a part on the world stage? The answer is yes. But there you go. So there you go.
Most of that I heard from, I listened to Trump's press conference with all them. That's where I got most of the information
Trump.
for that. But
that guy, he's full of honesty. So how does Flat Earth relate to all this? I'll tell you how. If you believe you live on a spinning ball flying through an infinite space vacuum, which violates natural law, you'll believe anything the mainstream media tells you, including breathing on grandma will kill her, or that we invaded Venezuela and caught the president and let him have 4 outfit changes throughout the day. Give me a break. You'll believe anything. You'll believe anything.
I suppose, but I'm just, like I said, I don't want to be like these other Globies. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be like I don't know if you saw the what was it? Malachi and Whitsitt had that quote unquote debate, and Malachi flipped out.
I don't know who Malachi is.
Some guy Whitsitt was debating, and Whitsitt was bringing up some stuff, and Malachi flipped
recently
out.
Recently or a long time ago?
It might have been I saw it on YouTube a little while ago.
A year
ago.
A
year ago or something like that.
Professor Dave. Professor Dave. He's not a professor, and he never made a single point ever. So he just talks like he's smart, and he calls himself a professor. So people are like, oh, he must be smart. Again, no critical thinking. The guy is just. Here's the question.
I don't want to be mean like that. You know what I mean?
No, we don't want to be mean. We're having a good conversation here. So you believe the Earth is a globe. So what's the radius of your globe? No Googling. Just you don't know. You can say you don't know.
I don't remember the globe.
All right. So what's the circumference of the globe at the equator?
I don't remember.
How fast is it orbiting the sun?
About 66,000 miles per hour.
There you go. Very good. Well, that's what they say. And how wide is the sun? How big is the sun?
The sun size. I don't have sizes now. I don't remember sizes.
And how far is it? And how do they figure out how far it was?
It's about on average 93 million miles. We're probably about 91.
How did they figure that out? How did they figure it out besides the mainstream media telling?
They've.
You could say it on.
I guess light.
Light. You guess light. So you're guessing. So you don't know. So I asked you about 6 questions. You got one of them right. One of them you got half right. So is that a good reason to believe what you believe?
No, the numbers. No, I don't think so. But
I know your model. That's why I'm a flat earther. If you knew your model, you would be a flat earther. Because your model's ridiculous.
I mean, I've been looking at both sides, and I'm not let's just say I'm towards the globe side because other observations I made.
Let's hear them.
So I got a telescope. I hear a lot of flat earthers. I mean, I know you mentioned it too. You don't like looking at the lights in the sky to determine the.
Well, I do love looking at the lights in the sky and speculating about them. But both sides, that's all we do is speculate.
Yeah. Exactly.
But your speculation, by the way, you can speculate and like, well, that's a good theory, or you can speculate and go, wow, that's a really crappy theory, and here's how I can prove it's wrong. Well, your side of the argument, all of it can be proven wrong. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Again, critical thinking is at a complete standstill, and so to explain some of the things takes a little bit of critical thinking. So I kind of lean away from trying to explain the ones that will make the mind work at a 5% level, because people are used to a 0% level. So
I actually hear that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So let's try this. Let's see. Tell me, and you can say stop when your brain melts. Okay. It's okay. No offense. People's brains melt. My brain melts. If I had a ball, 2 balls, one of them's 10 times bigger than the other ball. How far away do I have to put the bigger ball to make it look like it's the same size as the other ball? It's an obvious, easy number.
About 10
times as far. 10 times as far. Right. They say the moon is the sun is 400 times bigger than the moon and 400 times farther away. Therefore, they look like they're the same size. That's the globe explanation. Flat Earth explanation is they look the same size because they're the same size.
They are. They're the same size.
That's called scaling invariance. Mm-hmm. So if I made the ball, the bigger ball, 20 times farther away, it would be half the size or a quarter of the size, depending on how you look at it, of it. So things get smaller as they go into the distance, right? So the sun's 860,000 miles wide. If it was right over your head, like a mile over your head at noon, it would fill the entire sky. It would be like a yoga ball hovering a millimeter over a BB, and you're standing on top of the BB. You look up, the whole sky is the yoga ball, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So we move it 93 million miles away, or 8 light minutes, they say. And it's now the size of a coin held at arm's length, just like we see it. With me still?
Yep.
So if we double the distance to twice as far, it would be a quarter of that size. So now it's like the size of a pencil eraser. And if I doubled it again to 4 times as far, now it's like a big star. 8 times as far, we can say it looks like every star in the sky. What if I made it, so 8 times as far, 8 light minutes, 8 times 8, 64, we'll call that a light hour. What if I made it 2 light hours away, 4 light hours away, 24 light hours away? You can actually use math if you know the angular resolution limits of your eyes and realize that that light is too small and too dim for your eye to see it. So you could not see it by magnitudes at 1 light day away. Still with me?
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
So you're in the north, you're in America, right? You look up and see the North Star. You ever look up and see the North Star?
Yeah, we're in New Jersey.
Yeah, New Jersey, right? I'm in Connecticut. Yeah. So we look up and North Star doesn't move. That's a problem. But we're going to just say we can see it with our naked eye.
Yeah.
And so that's good. So we can take the globe math. They say that North Star is 46 times bigger than the sun. So at a light day away, you could not see the sun. So if I made Polaris 46 light days away, you also couldn't see it. 46 light days, let's round that up to 2 light months away. Just give the globe every benefit of the doubt that it deserves. At 2 light months away, it is scientifically provable that you could not see something the size of Polaris that they claim. But do you know how far they tell us Polaris is?
That's
430 light years away.
Yeah.
So we're talking 2 light months. We're not even talking 1 light year, right? So these are things that prove, okay, we don't know what Polaris is. We don't know how big it is. We don't know how far it is, but we know how big it is and how big it isn't and how far it isn't, right? So using logic and science and actual math, we can prove that the story they tell us about Polaris is completely fictional. Fictitious. Fictional.
Yeah.
Did I say fictional? Is that a word? I think I'm going to coin that.
Fictional.
Good word.
It is now.
It's a word now. Thank you. Put that in the show notes, please. Yeah. So again, that's as far. That wasn't too hard. You guys followed me. I think I explained it very clearly. Most people can't even follow that. Because when it comes to the point, like, well, I see it, therefore you're wrong. No, you see it, therefore it's wrong. You're not wrong. I'm not wrong. The story we're being told by the mainstream media education system is a lie.
But for Polaris, I'm under the impression that since we have a yellow, the Polaris is a giant. Whatever, I forgot the name of it.
It's just like a star. White. It's a star.
It's supposed to be 26,000 times more luminous than our sun.
Doesn't matter.
Why we can see it distance.
Because 300 so every time you double the distance, it becomes a quarter of the brightness, right? So if it how many times brighter did you say it was?
It's supposed to be about 26,000 times more bright.
So 26,000 times. That is just ridiculous. Just to say, how can something even be brighter than the sun? There's a question for you. How can something even the sun? Just get out. It's just lies. But 26,000 doesn't cover it because at 2 light months away, we'll just call it the same bright. It's the brightness of the sun. So at 4 light months away, it would have to be 4 times as bright, right? 8. We're going to go 16, 32, 64, 128, 256. We're going to hit that number so fast, and we're not even going to be at a couple light years yet, right? I haven't done the math.
I understand your saying.
But again, to say something's 26,000 times brighter than the sun, what does that even mean? That's just the word.
It's
Nobody
bright.
has shown
extremely
anything
bright.
brighter than the sun.
No, we haven't seen it.
But we can theorize. We can make stupid statements like, "Oh, it's 26,000 times brighter." You know why they say it's 26,000 times brighter than the sun? Because it has to be. Otherwise, their whole thing falls apart. It still falls apart.
That's what I was going to mention now. So they take, from what I understand, how they got the luminosity of Polaris is that they basically just kind of fit it into if it's this far away, it has to be this bright.
There you go. They're just making up stories.
So it seems, I can understand that part of it, like where the flat earthers come up and they're like, well, they get this idea and then they make the math work for that idea.
Let me ask you a question. If something doesn't curve, then it's what?
Flat.
Okay, and if something doesn't move, then it's what?
Stationary.
Okay, so I'm not making any claims. I'm just defining something. So
no,
does every sphere have curvature, whether it's a golf ball, basketball, beach ball, earth ball, Jupiter ball? Does every sphere have curvature?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you know what the curvature rate for our ball is? Our earth ball?
It's 8 inches per mile squared.
Correct.
About.
Which is, but people say that's not the right formula. Actually, it's giving the ball the benefit of the doubt. It's based off the Pythagorean theorem, which is
it works up to 90 degrees of the circle, of the sphere. After that, then you got to,
Correct. You can't even see that far. But up to 2,000 miles, it's still underestimating the amount of curvature. So you can't see 2,000 miles. That's the other issue. But if you and I were outside and I duck behind a hill, so my head is below the horizon of that hill to you, can you see me?
No.
Right. And if I gave you the Hubble telescope, could you zoom in on me?
No.
Okay, because there's a physical thing blocking me. So if something goes over the curve of the Earth, is it hidden from view?
Should be.
Should be. Why wouldn't it be?
Have to be. It has to be.
Well, it would have to be, right. So you're aware that we have many, many, many observations. You don't even need a zoom camera. You can do it with your naked eyes. But we have observations that far exceed the physical requirement of a curved ball Earth of 24,901 miles around. So the only explanation, I'll give you your explanation that maybe you know or don't know, is refraction. They say, refraction.
Yeah.
That, the image is refracting up. So when somebody takes a picture across Lake Michigan, 57 miles, and can see the entire skyline, not the bottom of the buildings are missing, but we can discuss that. But we can see the entire skyline when the top of the tallest building should be several hundred feet below the curve. They just scream refraction. And we said, okay, well, if it's refracting, that'll change with the weather and time. And we did a time lapse, 18 hours into the night, and the buildings never moved. We also got on a boat, put with Chicago in the zoom lens, zoomed in on it, and went 50 miles across the lake, and never unmiraged, under refracted. So the word refraction is just their get out of jail free card for the people that don't critically think, and that's mostly everybody.
No, those observations I've seen with the distances that can't, the Earth can't support, the sphere.
It's not even that far. People don't realize it. And people are like, well, you don't know how far that boat is. Well, we have boat trackers and stuff, but there's one observation, we call it the black swan, even though it's not a black swan because there's so many observations now. It's 2 oil rigs. One of them is 6 miles, the other one's 10 miles. And the observer height was 8 feet, which would put the horizon at like 3.5 miles or something like that. We'll put the horizon way in front of the first oil rig. Now, what does that mean, the horizon? The horizon means you can't see the surface of the water anymore, as it's hidden behind the hill of the Earth.
Yes.
But not only can we see the water leading to the first platform, we can see it to the second one, and we can see it for dozens of miles beyond beyond that. So you have to believe, that every, let's say you take all of that distance, every specific distance of that water has to refract up another amount and line up with your eye level, right? It can't refract higher, it can't refract lower, it'll be missing gaps. It just has to perfectly refract. So something at a mile has to refract up 8 inches, and something at 3 miles has to refract up 6 feet, and the thing at 10 miles has to refract up 66 feet, and at 11 miles it has to refract up 72 feet or whatever the number is, right? And all of that has to stop at your eye level to make it appear to be flat, because it's really curved behind a ball, behind a hill, but it's magically refracting up and staying perfectly level. How come it doesn't refract higher into the sky? Right? How come it's always perfect with eye level? So that's the Glober excuse. The flat Earth excuse is, well, it's just flat.
It's flat.
It's just there. Right? We don't need to make up, it's 26,000 times brighter than the sun because that's how we see it. Or how about it's just small and close and it's right there. We can see with the naked eye because it's not far at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Why are you a Glober? Are you afraid? Are you afraid of rejection? You have a girlfriend?
Nah.
Are you afraid it would be hard to get a girlfriend if you're a flat earther? What's the problem?
I'm just like, I'm big on astronomy.
I was huge
I
on
love
astronomy.
looking
What
at
about
there
astronomy tells you that the Earth is a globe?
Well,
Which lie in astronomy are you still clinging to?
Well, I'll say from my point of view. So, for growing up, this is obviously what they teach you.
Yes.
The Earth is a globe is what they teach in school, and if you think any other way, you're a moron. Is
Very
basically how they
good.
put it.
Very good. Very good. So the Communist Manifesto gets yeah. So as I was saying before we get cut off, we're as small children we're brought up with this as a truth, a fundamental truth, and we built our whole lives around it, and we love it. And space is fun. Oh, come on, you guys want to be astronauts? You love all the space stuff. Everyone does. And so it's because that's what we're taught, and we're also taught to ridicule it if someone has a different thought. We're taught to make fun of the words "flat Earth." Right? It was weaponized like conspiracy theory. So, yeah. So if that's your reason, come on, man. That can't be your reason. I'm gonna make a comment. I mean, don't be like that. I mean, stand up for what you truly believe. You can. You guys sound like you can see the deception. You see it.
I think everyone's trying to deceive us basically all the time. That's why I always question. But there's things like gravity, like that doesn't.
Let's
the
talk about
electrostatic
gravity.
thing doesn't make sense
Well,
to me.
So what don't you understand about the electrostatic thing? Because that's the one that's testable and provable. The gravity one has no proof and is not understandable. Go ahead.
So we'll start with that because I was trying to get my head around this, and this is one of the things that, there's no other way to explain it. So electrostatics, you're attached to the ground locally below your feet, right?
What's that? Say that again.
You're pulled. So electrostatics, you're attached to, you're pulled down to the ground locally below your
not true.
To the feet, right?
No,
because of a negative charge in the ground, you're a positive charge. No,
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
That's incorrect. That's incorrect. The ground is neutral. The sky is positive.
Okay,
no, those aren't theories.
Okay.
Those are actual measurable claims, right? And there's an electrostatic flow from top down, right?
Okay.
So anything that's off the ground is surrounded with a positive charge. Positive and negative attract. The ground's not moving anywhere, and things will go down. Now, hang in there. This isn't that hard, but it takes a little bit of critical thought. So buoyancy and density sort everything else out, right? Because if there was no electrostatic flow, no gravity, no nothing, you're in the middle of nothingness, and you dropped a brick or a balloon, which way would it go? How would it know which way's up, which way's down if there's no earth, if there's nothing? I mean, again, that's a hypothetical, impossible situation. But the electrostatic flow sets the downward flow. And the gravitational scientists, mainstream scientists say, yeah, they recognize the electrostatic is real and it can manipulate things going up and down. But they say and they also say that the electrostatic flow is 10 to the 36 power. That's 10 with 36 zeros, stronger than gravity.
Yeah.
Now, do you know what 10 to the 36 power is?
It's got 36 zeros. It's a very big.
So if I had a grain of sand and I made it 10 to the 36 times bigger, how big would it be? What would you compare it to? A grain of sand.
A beach.
A beach? Which beach?
Maybe more. 36.
10 to the 36 power.
The whole U.S. coastline on the East Coast.
Let me tell you this. If you said the whole Earth, I would say you're so far off, it's not even funny. Ready? 10 million times bigger than the alleged known universe. Okay? Let me say it again. A grain of sand, 10 to the 36 times bigger. If you took the entire known universe, which is like
probably that many.
Billions and trillions and quadrillions of miles wide, and made it 10 million times bigger. That's how big it is. So scientists admit that. So, by the way, I don't believe that. I don't believe that that's even a thing. That number doesn't even exist. So they admit, though, that the electrostatic force, which is testable, scientifically provable, is stronger than gravity, and gravity is just a theory. Why don't you understand that?
So, but when you look at, it's a downward electrical charge from
we can
the
manipulate
sky to
it.
the ground. I'm just trying to figure out how. So it pushes you down because of the flow
It's just
from
that's
the
the
sky
flow,
to
like
the
jumping in a river. The river is going to take you downstream.
I'm trying to put my head around this. When I was sitting in the hospital too with my wife for a while, when you're going, why would you feel a difference in force exertion needed to go up a hill with electrostatics? That to me seems like more of a gravitational pull,
Well,
because it's
what
pointing
is
towards the
gravity?
center.
Gravity is a word that they use for the effect of electrostatics. That's it. That's just a word. The gravity, mass attracting mass, has never been proven. The only test has been the Cavendish experiment, where they had 2 lead balls in a barn, and they didn't isolate electrostatics. The sun and the moon went over it twice during the time he waited for them to attract to each other, and that's changing the electrostatics, right? That is the worst experiment ever, but it's the only thing you have that could possibly say that gravity is a real thing.
Yeah.
How come plumb bobs don't point towards Mount Everest when you're standing next to Mount Everest? How come they point straight down? They don't lean a little left. It's a big mountain.
Because
there.
it's pointing
There's a lot of mass.
But it's pointing. But there's more mass towards the center of the Earth.
Again, mass attracting mass doesn't work. Your whole gravitational solar system, they're like, well, how do you predict orbits? Well, you couldn't predict orbits if they were all gravitationally held. It's absolutely crazy. First, what holds our solar system together? It would be the sun, right? Everything's orbiting around the sun. What's the sun made out of? Helium and hydrogen. Don't those defy gravity on Earth? Well, and doesn't gas violently expand to fill available space? Except in space, it collapses and creates gravitational balls that burn billions of tons of fuel a second and never get any smaller.
So, I mean, there's nothing pushing. Once it expands enough, there's not enough to push against each other. So then the gravitational force overcomes.
What are you talking about? Say it again.
The gravitational force overcomes.
You're trying to explain yourself by making it up. You have no evidence. You're just saying things to support your position.
I guess, but going back to the gravity thing, I'm just trying to get my head around this.
Which gravity? Which gravity first? Before you want to defend gravity. No, forget electrostatics. Which gravity do you want to quote? Einsteinian gravity or Newtonian gravity? Big G or little g? Right? These are all theories.
Bending of space-time.
So now it's the bending of space-time. Do you know what the bending and warping of space-time is?
That's
so
what
mass
they say.
attracting mass, Newtonian gravity.
Yeah.
Well, okay, we can understand that, sure. But now they don't even say that planets are held through Newtonian. It's now Einsteinian, the bending and warping of space-time, because they know that they can't even model 3 bodies, let alone billions and trillions of bodies. Right? 3-body problem, they can't model it. Then no computer can figure out what 3 bodies will do, even if they're the same size, because they go into a random chaos pattern. But that's not what we live in. We live in a perfect clock.
No. Yes.
Perfect clock. The sky clock is the most accurate clock in the world.
No,
because it
I
is.
agree.
So again, you love the word gravity because that's the glue that holds the whole thing together, but you don't have any proof of it. It's just a story. And electrostatics is proven. We can manipulate things. We can make them go up by adding a negative charge to them. We can make them go down by adding a positive charge. Are we manipulating gravity or are we manipulating electrostatics?
Yeah, but electrostatics, if you positively charged ions, positively charged objects, negatively charged objects, I feel like they'd react differently.
They do.
And everything falls at the same rate. Basically falls at the same rate.
It's an average 9.8 meters per second is an average rate. Do you know that things fall at different rates during electrical storms? Look into it. They fall at different rates. Yeah, well, what is the electrical storm affecting gravity or is it affecting electrostatics? You have to be able to let go of your religion. You have a religion. It's called heliocentrism.
I know. I'm a little brainwashed. I'm just trying to work through it here. If the sky is positively charged, why can't we just have negatively charged stuff just fly into the sky all the time?
Do you ever hear the XRT-3B triangle aircraft? They use electrostatics to lift and electrostatics to propel, and they propel forward. And I think that they're, at this point, I don't know if it's disclosed yet, that they're pulling the energy straight out of the ether. So it doesn't even have to land, right? It's silent. It doesn't have any move. It just flies. Look up the silent drone. MIT made the silent drone. It looks like a big milk crate. and it flies without any moving parts, electrostatics. Again,
Yes.
people
Yeah.
have, we should have flying cars at this point, not the drone cars that they're making. Literally, we should have flying cars that just fly silently and don't even need to be refueled. That's where we
We
are. But they're hiding all of
we
that
should.
from us.
They. I mean, yes. I think we have way better technology than what they show us. You're absolutely right on that.
Yeah.
I've thought that for a while.
I'm right
sure-
by the way, I'm right on all of this. Go ahead, Josh.
Oh no, I don't doubt that at all. My question is, if this is all, true flat Earth everything, what's the benefit from hiding it from
That's
people?
a great question. And the answer that we'd like to give first is, how would I know I'm not the one that's lying? Right? If you walked into a murder scene and there's all these dead bodies all over the place, and you can see that one's wounded with a gun and a hatchet to the head, and and you can just see it all. You don't say, why would anyone do this? You don't you look at the evidence first. So it's better to look at the evidence, but I do love speculating, and I think we have a pretty clear idea on why. And the answer is to hide more resources, to hide technology, to hide more land, to hide our true history, to hide the creator, to hide your true ability, to keep you under control. Because if you know that there's more, and that energy is free, and they shouldn't be billing you for it, and everything else, you're out of control. They can't control you anymore. So it's all about control, right? And the way I think the number one thing is hiding God. My entire life, I didn't believe in God until I found flat Earth, and I didn't find flat Earth because I believed in God. Flat Earth made me understand that there is no other option for there to be a creator. So think about this. Your children, they're born, you love them, you tell them about Santa Claus, and you control them with the story of supernatural Santa. He's supernatural. He can go all over the world, deliver presents, climb down chimneys, right? That's supernatural, right? And then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, they find out my parents friggin' lied to me. Santa's not real. Supernatural's not real. Now, when it comes to the story of God and the creator, they're going to be like, they already lied to me. This is supernatural. I no longer believe in that stuff. And that's the reason behind, where Santa came from. For one is, and the Easter Bunny, the whole thing is literally to stop children from understanding that we do live in a supernatural world. I can go on and on and on about the reasons, but on my app, the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app, you can find it at flatearthdave.com. There's a frequently asked questions page, and my favorite button on that page is why the lie. There's some great videos there that Google will just hide from you. There you go.
Exactly. If I try to search Flat Earth Dave on YouTube, I get Professor Dave.
Yeah, of course.
So I mean I know about the algorithm. A lot of people like to lie about that and say, oh no, they suppress stuff. I know, I understand.
Actually, it's getting better. Like if you will get Flat Earth, you will get Professor Dave, but about 50-60% of the stuff is my interviews because I'm on so many different channels. The algorithm can't hide it. But again, if you really want the information, just go to flatearthdave.com, watch the crash course, watch the interviews tab there, get the app, and unplug yourself from the matrix because it's very cool out here.
I love
No,
it.
I mean, I listen. Looking at like the flat Earth maps and then like the ones that they kind of speculate on the lands outside, Atlantis, and all them. I really do enjoy looking at those. I'm not gonna lie. Like if there was some kind of
Well, that's all
opening to the
speculation,
ice
by the way.
wall.
Yeah,
I know.
We
I'm not
don't
saying
know.
it's real. We don't know it's real.
Personally, I think there's more land out there. And another crazy thing is the moon map. If you look at the moon is an inverted reflection of the Earth, except it's only like a quarter of the moon, so the other 3/4 is showing lands that we don't know about. Maybe that's the whole Earth. We don't know. Right?
Yeah.
Again, can't rule it out. You got to look into these things. But there's plenty of stuff that we can prove scientifically without speculating. Hey, you want to talk about what the moon is? So do I. But we're only going to speculate because we don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
But we can prove what it's not. We just can't necessarily prove what it is.
Yeah, because I hear a lot from flat earthers that the moon's its own light source, but
It's not.
that's one of the things that what?
So do you believe we went to the moon?
I believe we didn't go to the moon for the reasons they said we went to the moon, if that makes sense. I don't think that would. I think that
doesn't
was
make
a
any
little charade.
sense.
Yeah,
So
you have to listen to our Apollo 13 episode,
So-
or Apollo missions episode.
so if you believe in the moon, dusty, dirty rock, how is it so reflective that you can read a book by it and it casts your shadow on the ground? How is it so bright, right? And we're 238,000 miles away. So if you went halfway to the moon, it would be 4 times as bright. Halfway again, 16 times as bright. Halfway again, when you get to 100 miles, it would be like thousands of times brighter than we see the sun from Earth. That's how bright it would have to be for us to see it at the brightness that we see it from Earth. Right? Again, I lost most people on that simple line of logical thinking. But I'm not talking about you guys necessarily. I'm talking about, I'm telling you, people just short circuit. Go outside and when you like in front of Target or somewhere where they have a big cement ball, in a park. Sometimes they have them, bollards. And at noon, the sun's high in the sky. How come that's not reflecting light back on you? So that would light you up, that would cast your shadow behind you. You're standing right next to it. It's thousands of times brighter than the moon should be because you're right next to it, but it's not. It's not doing that because it's just reflecting light. The moon is a light. Next time the full moon, which is now, go out tonight and go out, stand under a couple street lights, get where there's some lights in the sky. Someone has Christmas lights on their edge of their house and the moon, and then take a picture, right? They're all lights. One of them's not a reflective, dirty rock. They're all lights. They look the same. I took a picture last night. I was sitting at a restaurant outside, and it had lights hanging on off the roof. It had a couple street lights and the moon. And I said, "Which one is the moon?" And you couldn't tell. You couldn't tell because they're lights, different colors, but they're lights.
Yes. The only issue, and unless I'm seeing this wrong, I got a telescope. You look at the moon.
Yeah.
You see. I know you're obviously, but it looks like there's shadows, and to me, a light source can't have a shadow on it.
What are you talking about? Like how?
There's craters on the moon, and you can see from different.
Are they craters or are they something else? They could be craters, but why are they all circular if they're craters? Because things hit at different angles, and they would leave streaks and stuff, but they're all circles. But the thing is, the moon can have different. Imagine a light bulb. And on that light bulb, there's thicker parts of the glass, right, where it makes it darker. There's all sorts of things. I do think that they're shadows, but I also think that the sunlight is not what's lighting up the moon. It's the electricity from the sun. And so, so let's say those are craters, if you will. They're depressions. That energy is only going to hit the one side of that crater. The other part's going to be in shadow. Yeah. There's your lit. It's like, think of the glow in the dark balls. You're charging it with light.
Yeah.
So anything that's in the shadow would be darker. And again, it's just an illusion. I have on some of my interviews, you'll see I show 4 moons, and you have to guess which one is spherical. And one of them's flat, one of them's concave, and the other one's a half sphere. And you can't tell unless you can touch it. And know the distance, you can't make any claims about it. The only thing you can say about the moon that is accurate is it's a light. That's it.
You could, I guess you could say a light or a reflection.
Show me something show me something other than a mirror that reflects light, so you can read by it and cast your shadow on the ground. You have nothing. You have nothing.
Reflective stripes on a vest. It's not a mirror.
No, so the moon is a reflective vest. Is that what you're saying? The moon is a dusty, dirty ball.
It's a dusty ball. Yeah.
Yeah. How come?
Because
you're being silly. You're being stubborn. You're just protecting your religion because you have no proof, and the only thing you can do is make up stories to support your religious belief.
And just to clarify on the craters, you said they're all circles. They are circles because it's from the explosion, not from the impact.
Oh, no. We actually took that theory. We took a pellet gun and we're shooting it across down, and it only makes a circle when it's straight down. And the other thing is, where are the asteroids? Where are the remnants inside those circles? Look up geyser or methane bubbles in Alaska. Not Alaska, in Russia. They're giant. They make giant craters. They come up from within the Earth. There's also the story of 200 fallen angels, and there's 200 massive craters on Earth. I don't know, man, but they're not rocks falling out of the sky.
No. So, but you believe we have some kind of dome?
Well,
so we're protected from stuff like that, right?
Are you breathing air right now?
Yes.
You are? Do you know that air needs to be contained?
Yes, but
so
for me,
what's containing the air? Gravity. Is it gravity?
There's a gradient of air pressure. How would that affect? Yeah. How would that work in a dome? If air, from your point of view, you guys say that gases expand to fill the available container.
Yeah.
So they would probably expand evenly.
Yeah. No.
But we have a gradient in air pressure as well.
That's not true. It's because of the energy coming from the sun doesn't heat up until it hits matter. There's more matter down low, Death Valley, the ground, and that makes heat, and that's where the higher pressure is. And as you get up, it's colder and colder, so you have lower and lower pressure. It's that simple. So there's your pressure gradient.
Okay.
And what else was there? There was something else about that I forgot to say. But the thing is, you can't have pressure without a container. Now, we had a tall gas tank, and they had pressure gauges on it from top to bottom, and there's less pressure at the top, right? But you put a hole anywhere in that thing, all the gas escapes. Your propane tank, when it's half full, it's liquid on the bottom, thicker gas in the middle, and thinner gas on the top. That's just how it works. And you know what? I think electrostatics has something to do with that, but it ain't gravity holding it down. But you need a container to have pressure. Air pressure is the energy exerted on the walls of the container that is holding it. Can you bring me 5 liters of any gas of your choice right now without a container?
No.
Okay, no. You need a container. And then, so your answer from your cult is gravity holds it down, right? Yes. So if I had a lucite box, I have a box. It's a square meter, it's fully sealed, right? And I actually evacuate just a little bit of air out of it. I make it a slightly lower pressure system than the room that it's in. If I put a hole on the top, bottom, or side of that, what's going to happen?
It's going to leave. It's going to
air's going to rush in and equalize instantly, right?
Yeah.
If I made it totally void of any air and I opened up a valve on the bottom, what's going to happen? Air is going to violently run in, up and away from gravity. Where's gravity? Wait, why is it going up if gravity's holding the air down? Why did that low pressure system, how about when I drink with a straw or put a straw in my mouth and point down and I could pull air and water up and away with a tiny, tiny discrepancy in air pressure between my mouth and lungs and the surrounding air, and the water and air effortlessly runs up and away. But we have a Tor 17 vacuum surrounding this high pressure atmosphere with nothing holding it in. Again, there is no critical thinking going on here for people that believe that.
Yeah. Yes. No, I understand where you're coming from. So we got this, but you have a gradient in your dome. It goes from pressurized to 0 psi at the top, or it's not quite 0.
Wait, how do you know it's? No one's.
I'm just asking how your gradient goes. You don't know. You don't know. Right?
No one's ever gotten up above 120,000 feet. When we send balloons up, guess where the sun is? It looks like it's to the side of the balloon. It's never above the balloon. Isn't that weird?
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going back to, I was going to say when we got disconnected too, and I forgot to mention it until now. I told my oldest son the Earth was flat.
How old? Oh, he's going to chop your head off. Go ahead.
So he said, okay. I showed him, like, I had this little flat layout of Earth. He came home from school the next day, and he yelled at me because he said the Earth was a globe. He said he told his teacher.
I told you.
That the Earth was flat.
I told you. They're 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They're in the heavy indoctrination. That should make you think right there. Like, why are they teaching the kids this useless information so early and so prominently? I mean, in kindergarten, they're teaching them the orbits of the sun and the moon. Why?
Yes.
Why don't they teach them how to be kind to their friends and how to grow plants or something?
Yeah, because my middle son's in kindergarten. My oldest, he's in first grade. He's learning planets. Even my, I I don't want to steel man your argument here, but like every time I look on TV, even if it has nothing to do with the globe, there's always like a globe picture, like
absolutely,
it's
programming.
everywhere.
It's programming to the 10th degree.
Every single time my kid watches some cartoon, there's a globe in it for no reason.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's bombarded with globes.
Sesame Street
constantly.
had a scene where they were teaching kids about the library. They had the fiction center and the nonfiction center, and on the section, and on the top of the fiction bookshelf was a rocket and a globe.
Oh,
Revelation of the method.
Yeah, there you go. They want us to know.
They want us to know
that they're lying to us.
I think it's an intelligence test that's going on, and those of you that fail, maybe you don't get to go to the next level of this game, because it is a game.
And that's another thing. I like the globe, the flat Earth, and everything. Like me and him have done episodes before about. I know this is not really on the same topic, but simulation. Because I've heard you mention it before, and I 100% agree with you that you can kind of, in a way, speak certain things into reality around you. I don't know if I believe you. I've heard you say it.
It's absolutely 100% true. It's beyond what even I can understand. It is unreal. It happens every single day. When you are in tune, signposts are thrown at you. Whether you want to say God sent them to you, the universe sent them to you, or you created them with your mind and you're the mind of God. I'm not going to tell you which one it is. I'm not even claiming to know, but it happens, and like you'll think something, and then you're like, I wonder, am I on the right path? And bam, signpost, there it is, right? And it'll just tell you you're on the right path. Oh, that's just a coincidence, or Google's listening to you. Yeah, Google's listening to you and trying to throw signposts to take you away from creation. They don't want you to know what you're supposed to know, right? We're here. This is a big game. It's a big test. And there's people trying to screw with your mind constantly.
Yeah, I mean, globe or not globe, I think there's some kind of game master, if you will. I've mentioned that before. Other things that tries to fuck with you all the time, or change something, or make you do something you don't want to do.
There's a guy named Jerry Marzinski. You should look into him. He is a psychiatrist that was working in insane asylums, and he was working with schizophrenics. Schizophrenic people have these voices in their head, delusions. And he saw that all the other doctors is basically, still hear the voices here, take this medicine, and drug them up. Still hear the voices here, up the dose. And they just keep doing that until the person's just a vegetable. And he started questioning them. He found out that delusions, they're not delusions because they're all very organized and they all have a follow-up pattern. Do you know about this?
I minored in psychology, psychiatry.
Yeah.
Am I saying the word wrong? Psychology. And we both took psychology classes.
Yeah.
It was one of our favorite classes.
So here's the thing. They're not hearing voices. They're hearing voices, but they're real. They're disembodied spirits, whatever you want to call them, archons, demons, or just disembodied spirits. They're disembodied spirits. They all have a pattern. They tell them what to say. There's a hierarchy of these spirits where they work together, and it's always negative, and they're always trying to bring mayhem to the world, for whatever the reason is, whoever their leader is. But it's provable. And one of the people said they hate when you mention God, and so when he hears the voices, he read a certain psalm, and the demons freaked out and left, right? And so the doctor printed out a whole bunch of papers with them, gave them to all the other patients, and didn't tell them anything other than when you hear the voices, just read this out loud. Keep reading it out loud. And every single one had the exact same experience. Now, that's not delusions. That's something else. So again, this world is not what we think it is. Even those in the know don't know. Right?
Yeah. I mean, even if I thought it was a globe, it's not what I think it is. It's not. I've always thought, the mainstream thing about it was it's not what they're saying it is. I'm always been an alien guy, but you can extraterrestrial. I know it could be from outside lands, right?
What does extra mean?
Extra, more.
Yeah. And what does terrestrial mean?
Terrain,
land, extraterra. Yeah. From where?
Outside.
The outer space. Out.
Yeah.
South.
Outside the.
Not up. Not up into Narnia land.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I've been steel manning your argument.
It
a little
says
bit
my
here.
device is struggling again. I'm still recording.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
So the last thing I was about the globe and the flat Earth thing. The final experiment. Was that some? I know Jaron went there.
Yeah.
Do you? What? I see a lot of anomalies in those videos, and
There's a lot of anomalies. Some of them are bullshit. Some of them are serious anomalies. Let's just say this. I don't like commenting on it. First, it's not an experiment. It's an observation. No one ever in all of history of all exploration of Antarctica has ever filmed the 24-hour sun until 2017 when we pointed it out for several years. And they came up with 4 faked videos. Not because we say they're fake, because they are fake. Right? No scholars have gone down there. No universities. No one has filmed the 24-hour sun except this fake preacher who's under a lot of indictments for financial fraud. A lot of motivation to pull something off to maybe as a plea bargain. That's just my speculation. And and they went and they observed this thing that really doesn't change the physical shape of the Earth. Right? If you want to say that the light of the sun, the thing that we call the sun circling around, proves the shape of the Earth, you first have to explain how helium and hydrogen can be a ball that can have gravity in a space vacuum, which violates natural law. There's so much crap that comes with it. People from Narnia laugh at that shit. Right? So again, it's not the final experiment because it's called the final experiment. It's the failed experiment because it's not even an experiment. It's a total fail. Yeah. So now the question is, are these guys all paid shills? And my answer is, I don't think they are, because I was supposed to go, and I know that I'm not a paid shill, but I'm really the only one that knows I'm not a paid shill. Right? Yeah. So what happened? Okay. Here's my very cryptic answer. Something else happened really bad. Okay? Something else happened beyond what most people are willing to even look into. I've heard things from people that they don't want to talk about it publicly, not specifically about this, but it does relate to this. Let's just say this lie, the globe lie, is the most important lie of the control system. The most important. That's why they faked the moon landing. That was huge. This is tinier. The question is, what resource would the powers that be not use that they have to keep the globe lie alive? And the answer is none. They'll use everything, right? Yeah. They have resources that people don't want to face, that people don't want to look at. They have ways to do things. And the 3 flat earthers that went down there, I don't know what happened to them. There you go.
Okay. No, I heard about it. They did I know Jaron freaking flipped his whole channel over. Well, I just want to know. But again, you were, I guess.
We're online friends, but he, and I thought he was like listen, he was better qualified to go down than I was. But if I went down, I might be in the same jam that he's in. Okay. Yeah. And luckily for me, I'm spiritually connected enough. I listened to my inner voice enough where I was told, don't go near those guys. Don't do anything. Don't deal with demons. That was my first comment.
Yes.
I don't deal with demons. And so there you go. Again, there may or may not be a circling sun in the sky. I don't think there is. Right? There may be some sort of, we have several models that would show a circling light in the sky, but I don't think it would really look like the sun as much. So my final answer is I don't think there's a circling sun down there. Okay. This is a massive, massive psyop to maintain global control. Global control, I said
it. Because it was just weird how quickly people flip, and I mean, Witsit didn't. I don't know if you're friends with Witsit or not.
I'm friends with Witsit, but there's some things that happened in their personal lives that are the same. Jared and Witsit have a similar situation, which is, again, I don't really want to. I don't want to. Yeah, no. I can't prove any of it. I don't want to talk about it because it's pointless.
No, I got you. I just wanted to see what you.
There you go. I don't mind, and nothing's off limits, my friend.
Okay.
Josh, you still there? Josh, you still there?
Taking it all in.
Yeah. So, Josh, I want to hear you came with. Well, that's what I was told. That's what I was taught. Like, what holds you to the globe? Besides gravity, of course.
I mean, in all honesty, it's all I've ever known. But then, since Joe and I started the show a year ago, like we started questioning things, and Now I'm just not so sure.
Is the term "you can't teach an old dog new tricks" the problem? Are you an old
That's-
dog?
Very much so, yes.
I think I'm older than you, so I'm able to learn. So
I mean, I'm very open to it. I'm not.
it's not about
not
opening. It's not about believing, because you believe you live on a globe, but you have no idea why. Now you're curious. That's good. The best answer you can give is, I don't know what it is. That's a great, great answer, right? But if you take the time and look, if you go to my website, flatearthdave.com, scroll down the big banner that says Crash Course. Watch the first 3 or 5 or all of the videos in that list, and you too will be a flat earther. Sorry, there's no other way around it. The problem is we're so unable to think, so busy with work in our lives, that people won't take the time to learn. They won't take the time to learn because they're like, I've already learned it's globe, and I'm just going to stick with that because that's what the majority of the people think, and I won't get ridiculed and called a flattard,
Yeah.
But, we don't do this to feel special. We don't do this for any other reason other than we want the truth and we want our freedom. The flat earth truth will set you free. It unplugs you from the matrix, right? Joe, I'm sorry about your wife, and hopefully she recovers from all of the crazy shit that they're going to do to her at the hospital. Yeah. But there's other things out there. Look at the plasma technology. They're hiding this from you. They're hiding it from you because you think you live on a globe. Flat earthers know about it. Go check my channel, DITRH. Check out the plasma video. It's not too far back.
I have to check that out too, because I was looking into other ulterior things, because this is going to be radiation.
Well,
they weren't talking chemo. Our oncologist flat out told us chemo's poison.
It is radiate. Poison. When they spill it on the floor in the hospital, they have to get hazmat suits to clean it up. So they'll pump it into your blood because you're sick.
Yeah.
Again,
and just
I'm not. You have to go on your own journey, but if you get off the ball, right? If you get off the ball, you take your life back. You take your world back. You reconnect with creation, and you can start seeing everything. The ball is their ball. They can't make laws that go against God's law, which is basically don't get in anyone else's face or steal from them or screw them. But they can make up laws for their world. So they when you're born, you're poisoned, and then you're documented, and you get your birth certificate, and then they send you to indoctrination camp, and you live on a ball. If you live on a ball, you got to play by their ball field rules, and that's it.
Yes.
Right. But you get off their ball field, and they can't do anything about it.
No. Yeah. I agree with you. I wanted to bring you on, like, again, I said, like, we wanted to reach out to you and see if we can get you on here because we're open to a lot of things. And but I don't know if I asked you, but what got you into even looking? Because you mentioned before you were.
We're all globers.
The other way, right?
We were all globers. Yeah. We were all. I don't want to say retarded, but retarded. Okay. So I was doing a podcast called Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, and we were looking into all sorts of different things, and that started, decades ago, where my buddy Tim and I, he and I were working at a solar company together, and we, in the lunchroom, we were talking about stuff like the IRS and where did the money come from, and every day more and more people started gathering around, and we were talking about some of the big deceptions that were going on, and then he had a friend in New York City that said, hey, they're opening up a podcast studio above Stand Up New York Comedy Club, and they're looking for podcasts that have to have an element of comedy to them. And he goes, we can do one on You and I Are the Truth Tellers, and his friend Mike, who's a comedian, can try to turn everything into a fart joke. It was actually a brilliant formula because it's funny, and true. And we did that for 3 years. But then in the third year, people started saying in our social media, like, hey, have you looked into Flat Earth? And first I thought it was a joke. And then I just started getting annoyed and banning people from our social media. I'm like, you're too stupid to listen to our podcast if you think the earth is flat. And I wouldn't watch a friggin' 1-minute video. I'm like, I'm not wasting my time. But then my friend Sophia Smallstorm, who did 9/11 Mysteries and Unraveling Sandy Hook documentary, she's like, Dave, I think the earth is flat. You got to look into this. And I was like, not you too. Are you friggin' kidding me? But she's the one that made me look. And I went in, not as a truth teller. I went in as a debunker. I'm just going to debunk this crap and be done with this idiocy. And for 2 weeks, I could not find a single glow proof. And at that time, YouTube was feeding you real algorithm videos. Like, oh, you like this? Watch this. Or watch this. Instead of just feeding you complete and total propaganda as they do now. So again, the censorship should get you to look, right? You don't believe in the media, the government. Well, they're censoring this. Anytime the government and media says, don't look here, what are you supposed to do?
I look there.
You're supposed to look there, right?
Yeah. So
again, there's only proof of flat Earth. There's no proof of the globe. But the globers will come out and go, there's no proof of flat Earth. The globe has been proven 1,000 times over. Oh, how? Well, science and physics. Well, those are just words. Tell me how. We can see too far. Go ahead. That's our flat Earth proof. What's your explanation for that? Oh, it's refraction and light attenuation and it's just like you're making up shit. Polaris is 26,000 times brighter than the sun. Show me something that's twice as bright as the sun. Okay, 26,000 times as bright. It's so funny. It's just so funny.
No, I agree. I mean, listen, you really, you kind of, push me along here. I do want to look at some of these line of sight things. I did want to get something to look at.
On my
these
app, the Flat Earth Summit and Zodiac Clock app, on the More Resources page, which is the spiderweb button. By the way, if you long press any button, it'll tell you what it does. Scroll down to experiments. We did them all for you, documented them for you. Because you can go do your own experiments, but it takes time. You got the weather has to cooperate. It takes equipment, batteries, driving. It takes a lot. But we've done them all for you. We're showing you the results. It's amazing, mind-blowing stuff. And then while you're there, look at the Old World page. Have you looked into the Old World yet?
What are we talking about here?
Yeah, so you don't even know about the Old World. All of our history is a lie. A couple hundred years ago, just a couple hundred max. There was a way more advanced civilization than we have now.
The Great Reset, right? And then we had the Reset.
Yeah. So there's a channel, and you can find it in the Old World section, but there's lots of stuff in the Old World section. But there's a channel on YouTube called My Lunch Break. Just go watch 2 episodes of that, and you're finished. There's no way that you can stop watching it. Right? My Lunch Break. Yeah. That's all you got to remember. My Lunch Break. Watch it. Mind-blowing.
I'll have to look at it. I have to get your app. I was trying to, I can get it on Android. The thing we were talking about, like with the Old World stuff, like we talked about in the previous episodes of like, there's Sanskrit and stuff like that from ancient times that have talk about technology or and stuff like that. And then always we get told by more mainstream, like scientists and stuff that it was just not, they were talking nonsense or it was
we're talking 150, 250 years ago, max, right? There was a far more advanced civilization here. They had airships. Remember, the Hindenburg was a psyop. They had airships that hold thousands of people. They had ballrooms and restaurants and the staterooms, right? Like cruise ships, but in the sky. Yeah. Think about that.
Yeah. And now we have...
Now we got airplanes. Now we got sardine cans. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you want 6 inches? You want 6 inches of extra room? That'll be $79.
It's all about the thing. It's all about the money. It's all about hiding the resources, right?
Yeah.
It's all about hiding the more land. Because then, if there's infinite land or infinite resources, who's going to make any money?
Yeah. Well,
no one.
Again,
they won't have the money.
Money is a construct, right? So let's say I'm standing in a room with you, and I got a $20 bill, and you got a sandwich, a nice sandwich, right? You're not hungry at the time, and I go, "Hey, I'll give you this $20 bill for that sandwich," and you might say, "Yeah, that's a good deal, right? I got the sandwich, and I could eat it. What are you gonna do with that $20 bills if everyone stops believing in money?
Yeah, you're done.
Money is a faith-based religion. It has no backing. It does nothing, right? But luckily for you, everyone else is on that same religion, and they believe that 20 has some value, so maybe they'll give you some beers for it or whatever you want, whatever you want to get. So again, Government and money are belief systems. What if everyone listening to this podcast, your podcast goes super viral, right? Justin Bieber tweets it loud, and his 140 million people watch it, and they all retweet it. And so everyone listens to it, and they go, you know what? That's right. We don't believe in the government anymore. We're not going to listen anymore. What could the government do about it if everyone at the same time said, we don't believe in you? We wouldn't even notice them like a gnat on our ass, right? Because they have no power other than belief.
No.
Fear is the only way they control you. You know what fear stands for? False evidence appearing real.
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah.
No, I like that. I like that.
I'm going to tell you a secret. I'm going to tell you a secret. You and Josh, ready? Because of the stuff you got going on in your life and everything, you're not going to admit it, but you're both flat earthers.
we might be undercover flat earthers.
You are. I'm just telling you, even if you haven't admitted it to yourself, you are. Right? You are. You know it's flat.
I think there's plants though, flat Earth plants. I don't know if you've noticed this yourself, but there's flat Earthers that come off.
I'm the number one plant. They say I'm a Freemason. I'm the brains behind the failed experiment. Like people, but here's the thing. I don't blame those people. Those people have archonic, disembodied spirits that have entered into them and taken over their minds. It happens. It happens.
Because I see some of these, like the Flat Earth Society, and I feel like that's some kind of like...
That's a government-run psyop.
That's a government
psyop. That's a government-run psyop.
I'm saying the same thing.
Yeah, that's a government
psyop. Just like...
That's why Obama, when he was president, he plugged the Flat Earth Society like 5 times. He's like, we don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society. You know, he wants people that, like it was really taking off. And he wants people to go to Flat Earth Society because if you go there for 5 minutes, you'll just throw Flat Earth in the garbage and never look again.
Yeah.
That's the purpose.
They're the ones that say that I think it's the flat disk is accelerating at 9.8 meters per second squared.
Upwards.
Right? And that's upwards forever. Yeah. And I'm like, when you look at that stuff, you're just like, what do you think? This is even more nuts than the globe.
Yeah, actually, the upward rising flat Earth is less crazy than the globe. The globe is the dumbest crap ever. Okay, it's so dumb that people can't see how dumb it is. It's literally so dumb that ready? Challenge. Name something dumber than the globe. Go.
I don't know. What do you got?
There's
something,
nothing.
Josh?
There's
When you
nothing.
put it like that.
There's nothing.
No,
All right, guys, listen.
Flat Earthers.
Here's your homework. Go to my website, flatearthdave.com. Scroll down, crash course. Turn off Netflix. Watch with your wife. She'll be thrilled to watch this stuff. The documentaries are amazing. One of them's called Finding the Curve. What the hell is it? It's a bunch of military pilots, ship's captains, all whistleblowing on how the Earth is 100% flat. None of their equipment would work on a globe Earth. There's 21 questions by ODD TV. It answers your top 21 questions all in short format. Really good. There's the Level series, Level, The Next Level, and Level with Me. 3 great movies. I'm in 2 of those, I think. And just watch these videos. They're amazing. Even if you're a glober, watch it. You're not a glober. So watch these videos and you'll learn. And they're done so well. They're entertaining. They're really great. And if you watch them with somebody else that you care about, hey, maybe they'll be on the same page as you sooner than you know it.
Yeah.
By the way, on my app, you can find people like, how am I going to find a partner, a friend, or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, that's also a flat earther? Well, I have the matchmaker on my app. You can see all the other flat earthers around you. You can say, I'm interested in women between this age within 100 miles, and it'll link you to all of them, and you can message them. You can start a little chat. You can even do video calls on the chat. You can do group video calls. It's crazy. The app does a ton of stuff. And most importantly, it teaches you about flat earth.
Yeah. Josh, he saw through us. He knows we're flat earthers.
He saw
There's also flashcards. Excuse me. It's also Glober's like, there's no proof of flat earth. And then my friend Nathan Thompson, amazing flat earther, he while juggling 10-pound metal balls recited 200 flat Earth proofs in alphabetical order. Okay, by memory, right? Again, flat earthers are dumb, but you know,
Yeah.
and so I made flashcards out of them. And so when somebody says there's no proof of flat Earth, they get one of those cards texted to them every morning when they're having their coffee. And again, it's not like they're a video that they're not going to watch or a book that they're not going to read. It's a fucking meme. Excuse my language. It's a meme. It's a meme. Well, I try not to swear because kids love listening to my show.
Okay.
It's a meme that once you look at a meme, you instantly see it. You can't unsee it. You know, it's like you can't look at a meme and not understand it. So, again, with the short attention span, a problem of the world, you know, memes are globe killers.
Yeah, I got you. I think we have a lot in common. I think we have a lot in common with you, with a lot of stuff, to be honest.
All right.
And
let's wrap it up. FlatEarthDave.com, take the crash course, get the app, watch my interviews tab there. Just watch a few of my multimedia interviews. I do love doing video interviews like this because I don't have to multitask, you know, pulling up stuff. You know, but no, this is great. I actually do it, and a lot of people like, you know, listen on the fly when they're at work and they want audio like this. So there's a great need for it. Do all those things, and then when you realize the Earth is flat, then start waking up more people because flat Earth is the key to our freedom. It really is.
All right, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do what you told me to do. Maybe we'll have you back on and go over those results we found.
Yeah, well, watch those videos, take the crash course, use the app, check out the frequently asked questions, check out the old world. All right, ready? Memory test. What's the name of the channel about the old world that I told you to watch?
Shit. It's on your app.
You can do it in between, and right
My lunch break.
There you go.
Yes, that's what it was.
My lunch break. Okay, watch those. Watch the videos. You'll binge watch. I would say my lunch break's better than the entire series of Breaking Bad. How's that? That's a strong statement.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I watched Breaking Bad 5 times. So
I'll hold you to that then.
have you watched Breaking Bad?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Greatest ending of any series of all time.
And this is better.
No, my lunch break is way better. Yeah, absolutely. Every single show will blow your mind, and they're short. They're like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, depending. And they're fantastic. They're fantastic. And again, it unplugs you from the matrix to let you start seeing the true, incredible creator that you are.
All right. Sounds good to me. I'll check it out.
All right, Joe and Josh. Thanks for having me. FlatEarthDave.com, everybody.